So they have a very open sexuality with the local people from Greenland. Is that the most important things that you have to learn is Couche-Lorsoir is the place in Greenland where there is the most, yeah, really. They explain that with the three things, very important. The first one is that the most important date for me is because I die. This day I die. That's what we call the Siberian syndrome. If you stay in the water, you will die in 5 minutes. If you get out of the water, you will die in 3 minutes. You choose.
But what do you think made it that you were able to survive?
For me, it was bullshit. Without immigration, without foreign people, we cannot survive. You have to know the people that you love.
Ever wondered what it's like living in one of the most brutal places on Earth, where the cold cuts through you like a knife and the wind never stops howling? A place where every day is a battle against nature. Well, this is where Nicolas Dubreuil lives amongst an Inuit community that calls this place home. Nicolas is not just an explorer, he's a French polar expert who has dedicated his career to studying life in some of the world's harshest environments.
Et je vais vous laisser parce que on va partir sur la banquise, là derrière moi. On va aller faire des photos d'ours polaires.
A guide for polar expeditions since the 1990s, he has led teams across Greenland, the Arctic, and Antarctica. His research focuses on understanding how humans adapt and survive in extreme cold and isolation. Over the years, he has immersed himself in Inuit culture, studying their methods of survival, from hunting seals to building kayaks, and working alongside local communities like those in Couche-Lorsoir.
You often explain the difference between exploration and adventure.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that?
Yeah, exploration and adventure. For me, it's quite different because what I love much more is exploration. And of course, for me, exploration is an adventure. But an adventure is not always an exploration. And there is some, but maybe it's in French also, I don't know, regarding the language. Adventure for me, sometimes it's a little bit a bad feeling with adventure. An adventure is something maybe not very good and I have this feeling that exploration is much more, something good for the society. I prefer to be named as an explorer than adventurer.
Yeah, you might have done the distinction. Exploration is more for others. You're bringing back something into society.
Yeah.
Maybe ideas and stories that kind of challenge society's like built-in thought. And adventures may be something more individualistic.
Exactly. The best things that I learned from exploration and from adventure, and especially with natives people, with the local people from Greenland, is that the most important things that you have to learn is adaptation. And this behavior that I got when I start expedition with my behavior of French behavior or European behavior is that you can control everything. That you need to have the best tool, you need to have the best clothes, you need to have the best skis or a sledge and so on, and that you are stronger than nature. It's like man versus wild, for example. Man versus nature, and you have to be stronger than nature. And what I discovered when I've been in Greenland is, in Europe, the nature is so nice with us, so simple, so easy. But when you are in the far north, it's another story.
Yeah.
Nature is so strong that you cannot beat the nature. You cannot compete with them, with the nature. So that's the big lessons from the native people from Greenland, for example, is that you have to adapt and you have to, I don't know exactly how to explain, but you have to act like a surfer. You understand what I mean? You have to take the wave and act with what the nature gives to you.
Yeah.
And that's the big lesson. So you have to adapt. Nothing resists. In North Greenland, you can have the best clothes that you buy in France or the last technology nothing works.
It doesn't matter there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's almost like here nature adapts to us. We control it to adapt into our society.
Exactly.
And then there, you adapt to nature.
Yeah, you have
under her terms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here we always think about how can we manage
Yeah.
to adapt the nature to us.
Yeah.
But over there, you cannot do that. I mean, it's minus 50 degrees sometimes. You have a wind of 300 kilometers per hour. It's so huge.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. So you have to adapt yourself. And you discover how strong you are, how strong the humanity is to be able to adapt yourself.
So, because it's such a minus 50 degrees, such a hard environment, why are they thriving there? How did they adapt to this harsh environment, one of the harshest in the world? And also, maybe we can talk about their resilience. How did they build that resilience?
It came not just like this. I mean, they start to come from Bering Strait in 15,000 years ago, and they adapt themselves, and they slowly go through Canada. And 4,500 years ago, they start to come to Greenland. And so they slowly they adapt themselves. And they have a so strong resilience, and they are so a way of thinking also. And that's something very important that I discovered some years ago, is the way how you think of yourself in your environment will guide you. I mean, it's very strange. I mean, it's.
Do you have an example?
Yeah. It's believe. I mean, it's not. I believe in nothing. I mean,
you're not religious.
I'm not religious. I believe in myself, and that's a lot. That's a lot, and that's very important. But I discover also, for example, the Nordic people. I mean, the Inuits from Nunavut, from Nunavik, from Greenland, from Alaska, from Siberia. Also, the Chukch, the Dolgan, the Nenets, and so on. All these people, they have a kind of mythology where the men are not separate from nature. I mean, us in France or in Europe, we talk about man and nature. In Greenlandic, there is no words to talk about nature. You cannot separate man and nature. There is spirit on everything. There is spirit on this table. There is spirit on you. There is also a spirit on the relationship that with us. So there is spirit everywhere, and you have to manage that. So they are not in the center of the world. You know, men have the same power than the floor, than the table. So you have to respect everything. So this is very strong, and that changes your behavior, your way of thinking. I mean, I'm not the man, I'm not the strongest animals on Earth. There is lots of species that are stronger than us. So suddenly you feel very weak and very small in the world, but this is your real place.
It's interesting that you feel weak and small, because maybe it's because you're a part of nature, you're almost part of gods and spirits.
Yeah.
It could make you also feel very strong because you're part of something big.
Oh yes, right. You're right. Yeah, that's the way of thinking. Yeah. But I mean that I have this feeling that here in Europe, the people they feel themselves very strong.
Yeah.
You know, they can cut off a forest if they want, and
Right.
so on.
Yeah.
And but here in the north, I mean, you feel so you have to put lots of respect in everything. So that's why I feel smaller in the north that here, and that's why also I love so much the north. Is that when you are in Greenland, for example, when you come to Kuchlarsuaq is the place where I live.
You now have a cabin there?
Yeah, I have a beautiful house. And here in this place, it's 75 degrees north, so it's very far north. It's at less than 1,000 nautical miles from the North Pole. In this place, I mean, there is no trees. Sometimes there is there is some mosses, some lichens, but there's almost only minerals. You got rocks and you got ice, and that's it. So even on the landscape, I mean, there is nothing to stop you. And the only things that you can see is the mankind, the humanity.
So bizarre.
So suddenly the humanity is very important.
Yeah, it's very exposed.
Yeah, very exposed and very important. And that's why also the relation that you have with people is so important. 30 years that I'm living in Greenland, I never seen a fight. Never. People don't fight because maybe one day you will need this guy that you want to fight with. So you have to be very humble, and that's something that I discovered. We are not humble here.
We're stubborn.
Yeah, we want to be to go on the highest mountains. We want to go deepest on the sea. We want to do everything. We are not humble, and over there I learn to be humble, and especially with my accident also.
Yeah, February 2001.
Yes.
Want to talk about it?
Oh yes, because that February 2001 is the most important date for me, is because I die. This day I die.
But you were reborn too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But on a much more humble way. I mean, I was skiing on the sea ice. Sorry, I was skiing, leading an expedition on sea ice in North Greenland. No, I was with two other people that I guide, and suddenly I realized that we are on ski, with the sledge, and I realized that the sea ice was very thin. So I asked them to stop and to go back away from this area. And when they were secure, I start to go away, and everything broke. And I fall under the ice, I fall in the water. And that's very tricky situation. That's the worst situation that you can have in this area.
How cold is the water?
The water is at -2 degrees, -1.8 degree. This is the minimum water, but outside is 35 degrees. And you are
outside is 35 degrees?
Less, minus 35. Sorry. Yeah, I'm used to talk about minus. I forget the minus, but it's minus 35 degrees. But that's what we call the Siberian syndrome. If you stay in the water, you will die in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. If you get out of the water, you will die in 3 minutes. You choose. Yeah, no one escapes a situation like this, because you go in the water. The water, you get completely wet and very cold, and the ice freeze on you and so on. It take times to get out of the water for me. So I was completely.
So you fell in the water, and then what happened?
And I fall in the water, under the water, and my sledge keep me under the water. So I have to take away my gloves and to unleash my sledge and come to the surface. But the thing is that when you are, you can try at home, you take a cold shower, but it's difficult here. But when you put that on your head, immediately you have a reflex, you breathe. And so I was under the water and I almost drowned because it was too cold, and I start to swallow the water. But hopefully I have this time to take away my gloves, unleash the sledge, come up to the surface, and of course my friends they were super scared, so
they saw the whole scene.
They saw all the scene, and I was the guide, so they saw the guy disappearing, so they get super scared. And I come to the surface. I say, "Okay, don't move." But I don't want that they comes to me because it was so soft. And so I asked them, and I was focusing because you are the guide. And when I get out of the water, I was focusing on them. I say they need to stay alive. So I asked them to throw me a rope, but they were too far. And so, and I start to, you get in hypothermia very quickly. Minus 35 is very cold, and especially when you are wet. And but I have also to think about me and keep my clothes, my sledge, because if you lose your sledge, you have nothing. So, and so my friend, I asked them to go away on a small island just close by, so they can be safe over there. And when they have done that, I start to think about me. How can I save my life? I mean, there is nothing, no one, so I have to save my life. And instead of, you got the sea ice like this, and instead of going up on the sea ice like this, I go in the middle of the hole and I swim like a seal. So I succeed to arrive on the sea ice. The sea ice broke, but I succeed to crawl like this. And I keep my ski and my sledge with me with a rope, and I succeed slowly to go on ice, solid ice. So I roll in the snow, just because like this the snow absorb the water.
Okay.
And after you take away the snow, but already I was in hypothermia, so I have difficulties to think.
Yeah.
And
how do you move and to move?
To move, and everything was frozen.
When you're frozen, it's hard to move.
Yeah, it's super hard.
You can't feel anything.
No, you don't feel. I succeed to have my sledge. I tried to open it, but my both ends were frozen, so it was difficult. And my chance was that I got Greenlandic was fishing on the ice with his two child far away, and he saw me falling on the ice. So he came, and he arrived with the snowmobiles and the sledge behind, with his two children, and he said, "Come on the sledge. We go to the village. Come on the sledge." And I was confused. I tried to put my glove, but it was very difficult. So I sit on the sledge, I got the two children on my knee, and we go full speed to...
and the two people that were with you?
Yeah, they were on the island,
okay.
so safe.
Okay.
And we run very fast to the village. And just when we arrive to the island, in fact, the sea ice was very fragile because of a storm some days ago. And all the sea ice broke suddenly. And hopefully, with his snowmobiles, he succeeded to go on what we call the ice foot. This is the part of the sea ice who is glue, let's say, to the coast. So it's kind of 1 meter along the coast like this, but it's solid, and he succeeded to go there. But us on the sledge behind, the sledge hit the ice, broke. And I fall again in the water, but I got the two child with me, because over there they don't know how to swim. Yeah, it's and so I got the two child on my shoulder like this, and hopefully I was 1 foot on a rock, so I was in the water like this with the two child, and he just stopped here, take the child out of the water, help me to go out of the water, and he said to me, "I save my children, save your life.
Yeah.
The settlement is over there. You run on the ice foot and save your life." And he go away. And so I run. Yes, I try to run. But the thing also is that it's really like in a cartoon. You got the devil on the shoulder and an angel on the other one. And the devil say, lie down, stop, and rest a little bit. And the angel say, no, not rest. You're gonna die if you rest. So I keep running. It takes 1 hour to reach the settlements, and I succeed to arrive to the small kind of hospital over there. But there were one doctor, and so they put me in the shower, and I was completely confused. I don't remember anything about this period because I was in hypothermia. But as soon as I start to get out of the hypothermia, the doctor, he said to me, okay, what you gonna do now? Because people take my friends back to the settlements, and I say to him, okay, I will stay a little bit here, and we'll go again.
Yeah, give yourself a break to recover.
Yeah. But the doctor, he said to me, okay, Nicolas, I think you don't realize. I'm doctor here since 15 years. I never seen someone coming back alive from falling in the water.
Yeah.
He said, so it's a miracle. Enjoy it. But Nicolas, we're gonna cut your hands and you're gonna cut your foot because they are too frozen. And yeah, but I wasn't denying everything. So for me it was I know it's bullshit. But the day after, because they keep me at the hospital and they put me some bandage around the hands that I cannot move, and the day after. It was a nightmare because they take away the bandage and I see big blister, brown, the nails out and everything. So I said, okay, shit. I've done something bad.
Something bad happened.
Hopefully, I keep my hands and my toe, and I've lost lots of feeling, of course, but that works. And after that, so there is a super nice proverb who say that you have two lives, and the second one starts when you realize that you have only one. Mm-hmm. And that happens to me, for real. And so, February 2001, I die. And now, it's only a bonus, kind of a bonus. And I feel like, Mother Nature, they just slap me a little bit and say, Nicolas, you are going too far.
Fast.
Too far, too fast.
Yeah.
Slow down.
But what do you think made it that you were able to survive? That you were able to move and you slide out?
Super lucky to have the Greenlandic.
To have what?
To have this Greenlandic.
Oh yeah.
Close
but
by.
Then he dropped you off and he said you walked to the town yourself.
Yeah. And
how did you do that? Mentally, physically?
Yeah. I think that's also something that I realize is that what gives you strength is not your legs, your arms, or your muscles. It's only here. It's your brain. And if you need to do something, you just have to think about that.
And after that event, how did you feel? Because you can feel, okay, I have a second chance at life, but before you get there, it must be hard.
Yeah, but at this period, I was a teacher in computer science at the university. I keep my hands, my feet, and I realized really that this is my second chance. I won't have another one. So I decided to resign from the university and to live only for exploration and adventure. And I came back to Greenland to see the guy who saved my life. And I came back and I said, okay, I have done a mistake. There is something that I haven't understand. Teach me. Teach me how you living there, how you lived with the sea ice, how you manage, what are you thinking about, how do you behave. And that was the start of my second life.
When you learn to see the way and to live the way they do. Yeah,
exactly. So I was with him and I start to understand. I said, okay, when the ice is like little blue like this and there is some wind like this, it's bad ice and no, that doesn't work. Okay, so we go again and when this is gray and there is this, the cliff are like this and this is good ice. No, that doesn't work. And at a moment I said to him, but I really don't understand. I don't know how to find which way to use. And he said to me, we have two ways to go, this one or this one. And he said to me these simple things. He said, Nicolas, if you look away and you are scared about this way, take the other one. So, and by this, of course, he wants to talk about the instinct, what you say.
Yeah.
And how strong it is to obey and to discover your instinct and this amazing power that everyone have on him. I mean, if you want to have an explanation, a physiological explanation, it's not so difficult. It's because you are walking on sea ice, so you have the noise. Sometimes you taste the snow. You look, and you have all these sense coming to you, and your brain is collecting the sense and giving you this instinct to see. Okay, I go this way better than this one, and that works. That works well.
For us to have their instincts, you have to develop it over time. And like you said, it doesn't happen like that. Do they maybe have emotions and feelings that we have in modern society, like, I don't know, fear, anxiety, depression?
Yeah, I think they are on a very difficult way now. Because, for example, in Couche-Lorsoak, why I am in Couche-Lorsoak? Because Couche-Lorsoak, for me, I think is the most remote place in the Arctic, the most difficult place to go in the Arctic. It's not the northernmost settlements, but this settlement is on a way. It's very difficult to go there. It takes you lots of time to reach Couche-Lorsoak, so they are very away from everything. But I mean, they all have their phone. They are all on TikToks or on YouTube.
Really?
Everyone on this. So they know the world, but on the same time, if you want to live in Couche-Lorsoak, you have to hunt. You have to hunt polar bear. So that means that you have to have dogs. They eat polar bear. Okay. You have to hunt the narwhals also, the unicorn, the sea unicorn. So that you have to go with a kayak and harpoon by hand.
Did you do it?
Yeah. So you have to live like this. I mean, it's not possible. Anyway, you have to hunt seal. It's so remote. Yeah. I mean, so they are in between the modern life and the traditional life. And it's very tricky now. I mean, I think in 10 years, there is one life who will win. And now they are in between these two lives. So they have the feeling, the depression. For example, Couche-Lorsoak is the place in Greenland where there is the most suicide of young people.
Really?
Yeah, really.
In the world?
In the world, yes. Yeah, lots of suicide.
Caused by?
The social services, they explain that with the three things, very important. The first one is that, I don't know how we say that in English, but l'enfant roi.
The spoiled kid?
Yeah, exactly. So, because the parents, they will do everything for the children. If the children need something, they will go to catch the stuff. If he wants to go there, they will take him. They will do everything. But when the child is 12, 16 years old, he realized that maybe one day his parents will die and he knows nothing, what he will do. And the second thing is that at 12, 16 years old, they have to leave the settlements to go for studying in other place. But the first place where they will be able to go is at 1,500 kilometers. So they will leave for the year. And they are super scared to get out. And because also, what they know about for example, there is some children, we say to them, okay, you will have to go to Denmark. Wow. But for 12 or 16 years old children who, eat polar bear, raw meats, blubber of a whale, wow, the shock to be in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So they are super scared. And the things that they know from us, it's only from media, so the TV, or what they saw in internet, and they are super scared because we don't talk about nice things who happens in our country. We talk always about bad things. So the things that outside is very dangerous. And the third thing is that it's they have very strong feeling with love. And if they have a bad experience with love, these three facts combined with the fact that they are living in the present they don't think about the future. They don't think about the past. They think about now. And they feel bad now. They don't know how to change that now, so they kill themselves. So that's even much more before the global warming or the pollutions that they can have in the seal, in the fish, and so on. This is the biggest challenge for this
community.
Yeah.
What's their experience with love? Why do you think they have such a strong attachment to love?
I think this because
what's it? How is it different with us?
That depends with whom.
Yeah.
But they have a sexuality, very easy sexuality. I mean, the first things who take care in the hospital, this is the bites from the dogs.
Yeah.
And the second one is the sexual disease. They have to fight against consanguinity because they are a very small community. So each time they meet other people from other community, they exchange blood.
Yeah.
So they have a very open sexuality. And this is the old stories from explorer. The explorer, when they came to Greenland or to a northern country, they say, wow, I'm super sexy and all the women come to me. But this is only to have new blood to make survive the society. But that's also a big lesson.
Yeah.
When we talk here about immigration, and we are super scared about immigration, without immigration, without foreign people, we cannot survive.
Yeah, we would all be
we will die with the consanguinity. Yeah. So we are living because of the foreign people. They are so important for us.
Yeah.
And so there is this sexuality, but to be able to live this sexuality easily, you have to know the people that you love. And the love feeling is super, super strong. I mean, when they love fully. So that's also something that I learned from them. That people, it's so super important to take care of people. For example, in Couche-Lorsoir, when you have to take a decision, you go for hunting with a dog sledge and so on, but you have to take a decision between all the hunters when we will go. It will take hours to decide. Because if there is one guy who is not agree, we change everything. Because everyone needs to be agree with any decision. So you don't put someone away.
They don't have hierarchy?
No. Everyone is equal, and everyone needs to be agree with that. Even between men and women. It's not in our society where the status of obviously the men are higher than for the women. It's much more difficult for the women. In Greenland, it's really equal.
Equal.
Yeah. The decision, everything's talking. You got women who are hunters, polar bear hunters, narwhal hunters. When you have to hunt a polar bear or any other animal, when you hunt. You never talk about the animals. For example, you never say to anyone, I will go for polar bear hunting. Because to say that means that you have no respect for the animals. So you say nothing. So it's kind of an opportunistic hunt. So they go with the sledge. We go for days, weeks sometimes. And if we met a polar bear or a seal, and we need the meat, we will hunt the polar bear. But we never say, okay, I will go to polar bear hunting Monday at 6 o'clock. So that doesn't exist.
You don't go with the intention to hunt a polar bear.
Exactly. You don't go with the intention because that's a lack of respect to the polar bear. And the polar bear, they are super spirits. They hear you, they can read your mind, so...
That's interesting that they would hunt a polar bear if they think it's a super spirit.
Yeah, and they have when they hunt, of course it's a hunt. A hunt is something very strong. I mean, there is blood, there is a fight with the dogs and with the polar bear. It's difficult, It's not many times the polar bear they just escape. It's not possible. So the hunt is very difficult. But when you hunt the polar bear, first of all, the meat of the polar bear will be cut between all the hunters. All the hunters will have a part of the polar bear, and also there is a big part of the polar bear who is for the settlements, for the people who are not able to hunt, for the elders or people who are disabled. So you will bring back food for them. And there is always part of the meat that we let on the place, because you will give the food to the birds, the fox, and so you don't keep everything for you. So everything needs to be shared. So that's even on the process to to find the meat, and it's something that they think first of all of the community. The community go in front of the individuals.
Individuals.
Individuals, yes.
Do you speak Inuktitut?
Yeah. I speak Inuktitut, and I speak Greenlandic also.
Yeah.
And mainly in Greenland there are 56,000 inhabitants, so it's very few.
Yeah.
They have, let's say, 3 languages: the North, the East, and the West Greenlandic. And I speak the West Greenlandic and the North Greenlandic. It's almost the same. It's not so different.
Is there a concept or an idea that you can't translate directly into?
Yeah, lots of. For example, nature.
Nature.
To say everything is not human.
What's the word?
You cannot. They use
What's it in Greenland?
In Greenlandic, they use to talk about nature. They use the Danish word.
Oh.
Natur.
Okay.
But they don't. They have no. You cannot say it. It's not possible. And for example, one day I have to translate the parity, to talk about men and women. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to translate that. And I call a friend of mine. She was a prime minister of Greenland at this period. And she laughed about me. And she said, Nicolas, but in Greenlandic, we don't talk about parity. Parity is something that's obvious. So there is no words for that. And there is many things like this. The language, to learn the language was very important for me. Because in the language, as you say, you discover lots of the culture.
Mm-hmm. They say that when you start learning a language, you almost discover new emotions, and you can process and have more different perspective on the world if you learn the language.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you understand what happens and why they do that.
Yeah.
And the language is everything. Yeah.
I guess to conclude the conversation, why do you come back here?
That's a very good question. Very tricky, huh? Question why I come back.
Because you love it so much.
Yeah. But I tried to be a polar bear hunter.
Really?
But it's one is difficult, and I'm not a Greenlandic. Even if my friend they say that I'm Greenlandic and I'm what they call the Kamaswark. That means the big friend, and that's they believe that I'm Greenlandic, but I'm not Greenlandic. Mm-hmm. And for me to stay in Greenland, to ask for the Greenlandic nationality would be a lack of respect for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I'm a visitor.
Yeah.
And in fact, in this status, it was much more easy for me. And they respect me a lot because I don't take any place. It's a very small community. So I have a house in Kuchlosswak, but there is few houses. So I bought a completely destroyed houses that no one wants, because I have to think also to not take a house for who children can buy or whatever.
Yeah, you don't want to take someone else's right to have a house there.
Exactly. Okay. So I don't want to take their place. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I came many times and I came back, I'm like a link. And I love these things. We talk a lot about explorer, adventure, but I'm much more than a menestrel. I don't know how to say that in English, but you know, this guy from the who come and take stories and bring stories, and the guy who is the link between these two community, two worlds. You know, one day we got a super nice experience. The movie is on YouTube. I bring two friends of mine, two polar bear hunters, to France. And I was super surprised because I say to them that I got the money to bring you to France, and I'd like to realize 3 of your wishes. And so they think about it. They say, okay, first wish, we want to see trees. The second one, we want to swim in the sea.
Okay.
Easy. Okay. And the third one, we want to see animals. So, and they came here. That was the first time that they saw tree. You know, we were in the forest. They were just hanging the tree like this. Yeah. They were completely fascinated by the trees. We were in the sea also. They were crazy. They were super scared to go in the sea.
Yeah, because normally it's a death.
It's death
sentence.
Exactly. And we have been to the zoo, and they fall in love. You know, in each place they say to me, "Oh, what does it taste?" I don't know.
What does it taste like?
Yeah, the giraffe. I don't know. And they say, "Oh, nice fur for the gloves," and so they have another way of visiting a zoo. And but at the end of that, I asked my friend, "Okay, what surprised you the most?" I mean, they have seen the subway. They don't have the subway. You know, for the subway, they have a word in Greenlandic. It's kremutsuitsut, and that means the sledge who is walking without dogs. And so they discover everything. So that was completely crazy. And he said to me, the things who surprised me the most was that the people were nice to us. I said, wow, why shouldn't be they nice to you? And they were super afraid, in fact. And that people realized that they are Greenlandic and that they are polar bear hunters, seal hunters, and whale hunters. And that the people from France will blame them. Oh. Yeah, they were thinking that people will, if they discover that they are Greenlandic, they will throw stone to them. So he said to me, for me, the best lesson from this trip is that I have to say to my children that they have to discover the world before the world discovered them. They were super afraid, and that's what they use. They named them Inupiluk. Inupiluk is very bad Greenlandic words to say, but it's like a gangster, you know, because they were thinking that the French people will think that they are gangster, Inupiluk. And I recommend you to look because it's not a documentary, in fact, because I don't want to do a film about them, so we have done a fiction movie. Okay. So where they play their role, and it's quite nice. Yeah.
Maybe they're afraid of that because of colonialism, and that's what it was.
Yeah, they were blamed.
Shamed them, told them that
you have to do that. Yeah. You have to act like this. Yeah. You have to stop to hunt whales. You have to. Yeah. But in Couche-Lorsoak, if you don't hunt, you die. Survive. I mean, you don't stay there. Yeah. You cannot stay there. Yeah. It's not possible. I mean, lots of people think, but there is solution. There is no solution. I mean, the last supply boat came beginning of November. The next one is beginning of July. Oh in between, there is nothing. Yeah. So of course, they got resupply in the shop, but they cannot have resupply for 6 months for
so they
everyone.
Only eat meat, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. If you are vegan, Greenlandic is a tough way. Yeah. But over there, they eat everything also on animals, you know. The intestine, the kidney, the length, the heart, the blubber, the eyes. You eat the eyes of the seal, for example. But they eat that not for the taste. It's not very tasty. It's like egg, you know. Oh. But they eat the eyes so they will have the vision of the seal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's super important for them.
It's like eating the spirit of the seal.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite meat?
For me, it's the narwhal.
The
The sea unicorn. The meat is amazing.
okay.
And if I have something, to tell you in Greenlandic, what was very strong for me, it's kind of a Greenlandic proverb, who say that, I say in Greenlandic, is Silarswark si kushlu, kisimi nagalavok. And you will see when we talk about the language, that explains lots of things. Always when they say something, they always finish the sentence with imara. Imara means maybe. We cannot be sure of anything. So we will go for fishing, imara. We will go to the shop, imara. Everything is imara, maybe. We don't know what. And they say that, so silarswark, sikushlu, kisimi nagalavok. And that means only the ice and the weather will decide. So that's tell you a lot about the behavior that you have with the nature.
Yeah. Sorry. We'll wrap up. Imara. We'll stop the video now.